So these are the questions that we'll be looking at. Okay, so number of unique customers in the data, number of repeat customers, and the definition of repeat customers will be the number of customers who have ordered on more than one day. Okay, and then we look at the purchase frequency of repeat customers, like purchase frequency as in the frequency distribution. So how many customers have purchased two times, how many customers have purchased 3 times, and so on. Okay, and average interval between the first 2 purchases. Okay, so basic questions, descriptive questions that we'll be trying to answer from the sample superstore dataset. Okay, so as usual, we will first read in the data file using the pandas library. For that, I will have to import the pandas library. I will use the alias pd. Okay, now the file that I emailed to you is an Excel file, right? So I will just give a separate name for this dataset. I'll just call it data_raw, and I will be using the function called as read_excel. And I will just specify the directory of this file. Put it over here. So wherever the file is located, I just copy paste that directory along with the file name. And just remember, we always specify the letter R before giving the directory of the file. Okay, and at the end we also specify the file name, sample superstore.xlsx. Okay, so once we do this, we press F9. So now you can see that the sample superstore data has been loaded in Python with the name data_raw. So it has 9,994 rows and 21 columns. Just tell me once you have loaded this file into your variable explorer, and then we can proceed to the next step. Everybody here until now? Any problems, anything that you need assistance with?
All good from my end, Sai.
Right. Okay. Yeah, pretty simple step just to load the file, and let's move on to the next step now. So to find the number of repeat customers, like I told you, we define the repeat customers as customers who have ordered on more than one day, right? So how we'll be doing this is, for each customer, we will find the number of days, that is the unique number of days on which they have made purchases. Okay. So before doing that, I would like to know what are the names of the columns in my data frame. Okay, so for that, I will be using this command, dataset name dot columns. So data_raw is the name of my dataset. Dot columns will give me the list of columns in my data frame. Okay. So now, if you see that we have this column that says order date. Okay. And we are defining the number of repeat customers as the number of customers who have ordered on more than one day. Okay. So for each customer, I will find out the number of unique order dates, and I will filter my data only for those customers who have ordered on more than one day. All right. So before doing that, let's find out how many total customers are there in the data. Okay. So customer ID is the required column for us right now. So what we'll be doing is find the unique number of customers, that is the total unique customers. We'll be using this command, data_raw within the square parenthesis customer ID column dot n unique. So the n unique function gives the number of unique values in a particular column. So that column here is customer ID column. So in the data set data_raw, in the customer ID column, how many unique variables are there? So that's what this command is going to give us. I will press F9. So this gives me a value of 793, which is to say that there are 793 unique customers in the data in total. Now, out of these 793 customers, we need to find out how many have made repeat purchases. Okay. So I will just create a new table. I will just say table underscore number of purchases is equal to. If you remember, a couple of weeks back when we were working on Python during the KKSS session, I was talking about this group by function, right? And we saw that the group by function is used to perform aggregations out of the data. Okay, we'll be using the same group by function right now. So the syntax is dataset name dot function name, that is group by. Okay, and we will be grouping by the customer ID. So within the group by parenthesis, we will be defining the level of aggregation. At what level do you want the data to be aggregated? We want the data to be aggregated at the customer ID level. So for each customer ID, we need to find out the unique number of order dates. Okay, just copy paste this order date column. And we will be using the same n unique function. This will give you the number of unique dates on which each customer has placed an order. Okay, and just to make the data look good, right, we use this additional parameter called as the reset.index. Okay, otherwise there will be a separate index column in the data which we don't want, so that's why we use this reset underscore index function at the end. So just see what happens when I press F9. So initially we saw that there were 793 customers in the data, right? Now observe, I have created a new table called table underscore number of purchases, and I'm saying data dot group by, and I'm grouping the data at the customer ID level. For each of the 793 customers, we will be finding the number of days on which they have placed orders. Okay. So now if you see here, the table underscore number of purchases, this new data frame that we have created has 793 rows where each row corresponds to one particular customer. Okay, so these are the total number of customers in the data. So this is what it looks like. See, this customer ID AA10315 has purchased on 5 days. AA10375 has purchased on 9 days, and so on. Okay. Now, out of these 793 customers, what we want is customers who have purchased more than once, right? That is what we define as the repeat customers. So we will just apply a filter on this table underscore num purchases. Okay, and the way to do a filter in Python is basically, I will create a new data set. Let's just say data underscore repeat. Okay, let's give this in the next step. I'll just keep it simple for now. First, I'm applying the filter on the same data set. Okay, the table underscore number of purchases, and out of this data, I need only those locations in this data. Okay, so that is why I'm using this word .loc. Okay, where the number of purchase days, which is this order date column. So data set name within square parenthesis, the column name is greater than 1. Okay, so I'm just filtering the 793 rows, I am keeping only those rows where the value under the order date column is more than 1. Okay, just see what happens when I run this. So we are getting 781. Okay, so the remaining 12 customers who we have removed after applying the filters are basically those customers who have purchased only once. Okay, so the number of unique customers who have purchased more than once is basically 781 out of the 793. Okay, and you can also do a quick percentage calculation, like 781 by 793 is nothing but 98% of the customers are have made repeat purchases. Okay, now next step what we need to do is we need to filter this raw data only for these customers who have made repeat purchases. Okay, so we'll use the same we'll use a similar filter command here. So I need only those rows in the raw data, or those locations in the raw data. Again, I'm using the LOC function, okay, where the customer ID in the raw data customer ID column in the raw data is present in. So for that we use a command called isin. Okay, so the data raw customer ID column value should be in the table underscore number of purchases customer ID. Okay, so whatever customer ID value is present in the table underscore number of purchases, I need to filter the raw data only for those customer IDs, and I'm storing this these filtered values in a data set called data underscore repeat purchases. Okay. Just take a look at the code. Tell me if you have any questions. The code is pretty straightforward. Or tell me if you want me to move the screen to a particular position so that you will be able to have a better look at the code. Just tell me once you are done. Until here, we can proceed to the next step. Or does anyone have any questions on the syntax for any particular function or any particular operation?
No questions from my side, Sai.
Right. Okay. Do we require some more time to be spent over here, or shall we move on to the next step? Okay, we can move on. So the next question, so we have answered two questions now. First is we have got the number of unique customers, and then we have got the number of repeat customers. So unique customers, we got it as 793, out of which 781 we said were the repeat customers. Okay. Now what we need to do is we need to find the purchase frequency of the repeat customers, right? So for that, let's go back to this particular table for a moment. So against each customer, we have the number of purchases that they have made. Okay, 5 purchases, 9 purchases, 4 purchases, and so on. Okay. Now from this table, what we need to find is number of customers who have made 5 purchases, number of customers who have made 9 purchases, number of customers who have made 4 purchases, and so on. Okay. So basically, we need to find the frequency distribution of the customers based on the number of purchases that they have made. Okay. So for that, we'll be using this same table, and we'll be using the same group by function. Okay. So how we'll be doing that is, so I'll just create a new data set that says table underscore frequency distribution. Okay. That will be equal to same group by function again, but we'll be grouping the number of purchases table that we saw just now. Okay. So dot group by, and we'll be grouping at the level of the unique number of purchases that each person has made. Okay, so that number of purchases is defined by this particular column, this order date column that you see over here. Okay, so this is the value that has to go into the group by function over here. So for each unique value under the order date column, I need to find out the number of unique customers. So customer ID column, on this customer ID column we'll be applying the n unique function, and of course we don't need the index column over here, so I will be using this reset underscore index parameter. Okay, so table underscore number of purchases dot group by, group for each unique value of the number of purchases as defined by the order date column. We find out the number of unique customer IDs. That's the syntax. Just see what happens when I run this line of code. So we've got a new data set that says table underscore frequency distribution. Let's open this data set. Yeah. So now you see the first column that says order date is basically the number of purchases that they have made. Okay. And the second column that says customer ID, just make this a bit bigger. Yeah. The second column that says customer ID is nothing but the number of customers who have made that particular frequency of purchases. Okay. So what this basically means is 34 customers have made 2 purchases, 53 customers have made 3 purchases, 98 customers have made 4 purchases, and so on. Okay. Now if you take the total of the customer ID column, then we'll be getting the 781. Okay, which is the number of repeat customers. So to perform that sum, what we do is dataset name within square brackets column name, that is customer ID dot sum. So the sum is giving us a value of 781, which is nothing but the total number of repeat customers that we have in our data set. Okay. So everybody with me here until now? Any questions? Or would you like to take a closer look at any particular part of the code?
I'm good, Sai.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so in the interest of time, we move on to the last part of the exercise. So the next question that we need to answer is the average interval between the first 2 purchases. Okay, so for this, what we'll be doing is, this is sort of a 2-step approach. Okay, first we'll be sorting the purchases for each customer in the ascending order. Okay, and then we'll rank those purchases as purchase number 1, 2, 3, and so on. Okay, and once we rank those purchases as 1, 2, and 3, we can just extract the first 2 purchases. Okay, and once we have just the first 2 purchases for each customer, we can find the difference between the order dates of those 2 purchases. Okay, so that is the series of steps that we'll be following. Okay, so we already have a data set only for the repeat customers. That is what we will be requiring, because we are considering only the first 2 purchases, right? And so for that we need customers who have made at least 2 purchases. So for that we'll be using this data set called as data underscore repeat purchases. I'll just copy and paste the name. So like I said, the first step is to sort the purchases in the ascending order of the customer date and the name. Okay, for the purpose of clarity, we will just take the customer ID and the date column alone. Okay, so I'll just create a new data set again. I'll just call it table underscore purchase interval. Okay, from this data set, that is the repeat purchases data, I will just take the customer ID column and the date column, order date column. Okay, so the way to subset as a specific collection of columns from the data is to use this syntax. data set name, double square brackets, and within the double square brackets, we need to specify the list of columns that we need. So right now we need just the customer ID column and the order date column, only these two columns. Okay, so within the double square brackets, I will specify the names of these two columns. Okay, and there might be duplicates. So the same customer might have purchased two different products on the same day. Okay, so for that, I will use this function that says drop underscore duplicates. So because we are not concerned about whether the customer has purchased two different products on the same day, we are just concerned about the purchase interval. Okay. So I will just use this parameter called drop underscore duplicates at the end. So now you see we have created a new data set that says table underscore purchase interval. Okay. Let's see what this data set looks like. So it has the customer ID and the order date. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to sort this data based on the customer ID and the order date in the ascending order. Okay. So for that, we'll use this particular syntax. Same data set. So this is the syntax for sorting. Dataset name dot sort underscore values. Okay. And sort underscore values is the function which helps you to sort the data with regard to the columns that you specify. Okay. And what columns are we going to sort by here? We are going to sort by the customer ID first and then the order date. Okay. So the parameter that goes inside the sort underscore values function will be by is equal to, just copy paste this collection of columns over here. Okay, so this is the syntax again. So dataset name dot sort underscore values within brackets give by is equal to customer ID and order date. Okay, so in case you want to sort it by the descending order, you give one additional parameter that says ascending is equal to false. But here we are sorting by the ascending order anyway, so no need to give that parameter. Now I will just sort this based on the customer ID and order date. By default, it will be sorted on the ascending order. Now see what it looks like. See, now we are sorted based on the customer ID, and then you can see the dates here. So 31st March 2017, 15th September 2017, 4th October 2018, and so on. Okay, so we have sorted based on the customer ID and then the dates in the ascending order. Okay, now you can see that this customer has so many purchases, right? But we need to find the average interval between the first two purchases only. So the subsequent purchases after the second purchase, so those purchases can be removed. Okay, so for that we'll just rank the purchases like 1, 2, 3, and so on for each customer. Okay, so for that ranking, we'll again be using the same group by function. Okay. We'll just create a new column that says rank. Okay. So this again the same group by function, dataset name dot group by. So for each customer, we need to rank the purchases. So group by customer ID, and we need to rank the order date as first, second, and third, and so on, which is basically the purchase date. For that, I'll be using this function called as rank. So initially in the group by syntax, we were using this function n unique, right, to give the unique number of customers. Similarly, instead of n unique, we just need to use the rank function. That's it. No other difference. And again, we'll be using the same reset index. When you press F9, sorry. Just slight confusion here. Okay, I'm sorry. The reset underscore index is not prepared. I think it's because it is a new data set. Let me just check it once. Yeah. My mistake here was that I don't have to use the recent underscore index here because I'm creating a new column within the same data set. In the previous instances, we were creating a new data set or a new table, but here we are creating a new column within the same table. So we don't need to use the reset underscore index. Okay. So now we have got the column called as rank over here, which is nothing but, see here. So we have now ranked the purchases 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 for this customer, first customer. And then for the second customer, again, you can see that the rank starts from 1. Okay. So out of all these purchases, we need the first 2 purchases alone. Okay. So naturally, what I'll do is I'll apply a filter on this data set for only those locations where the rank is less than or equal to 2. So dataset name dot loc. In that dataset, the rank column value should be less than or equal to 2. Okay, that's it. So now if you see here, see for each customer we have only the first 2 purchases. Okay, so there is only one step that remains for us now. We need to find the interval between the 2 purchases. Okay, so again you can use the same group by function. Okay, I'll just copy paste this syntax from here. So instead of rank, we'll be creating a new column that says, say, purchase interval. Okay, same syntax, dataset name dot group by customer ID order date. But here, instead of ranking the order date, we need to find the difference between the 2 subsequent orders. That is the first 2 orders. So for that, I'll be using this function called as diff. Okay. So diff is short for difference, and that will give the difference between the order dates for each customer. Okay. And let's just see what happens when I run this line. This gives you a warning. It's not an error. So sometimes when you use a particular data set, data type or something, this warning appears, but nothing to worry about. So let's see how the output looks like. Let's make this bigger. Yeah. So now you see here, for each customer between the first 2 purchases, that is between the first purchase and the second purchase, it has given you the total number of days. So between 31st March 2017 and 15th September 2017. So 5.5 months, right? Almost. So that is what it's displaying here, 168 days. Okay. Similarly, 21st April 2017 to 24th October 2017 for the next customer, a little over 6 months. So that is the 186 days. Okay. And here 2017-2019, almost 2 years, right? So 804 days. So this is how you find the difference. Okay. And so this gives the purchase interval for each customer for the first 2 purchases. To get the average purchase interval across all customers, we need to just apply an average for this column. Okay, that's also very easy. Copy paste the first part of the above line. Dataset name, column name, dot mean. Okay. So it gives you a value that says time delta. Time delta is in the difference between 2 timestamps. That gives 279 days. Okay. So this is nothing but 3 hours, 59 minutes, 41 seconds, and so on. This is not required, but just the days alone will be sufficient for us now. So this is 279 days, which is the average interval between the first 2 purchases. Okay. All right. So any questions, doubts? Any clarity required on any syntax? I'll be sending this code right after the session. You can feel free to go through it. So primarily we have been using only the group by function and some basic arithmetic functions. That's it. If you even have just the first part of the code, then all you need to do is you can just copy paste segments from over here, change the dataset name, column names. You'll be able to get the remaining solution as well. Any questions? Okay.
None from my end, Sai.
Okay, Jagdish, thank you. All right then. So that's what I had for today.